What's good, Commanders fans? We're going to do a quick studs and duds video or stock up, stock down after the first preseason game yesterday. And then at the end, I'm going to talk a little bit just about a quick update about Brandon Coleman. Just my thoughts on that injury update that we did get yesterday from Dan Quinn. But first, and I'm going to talk about a couple guys where their stock didn't really move at all, but just making an observation about some guys. Like, I'll just get Marcus Mariota out the way, I guess. I'm not going to say his stock went up or went down, but it just kind of stayed the same. I hate to say his stock went down because of a botched snap or him fumbling the snap or whatever happened. Then he only made one pass. So I'm not going to talk about him. So that's like kind of an example of some of the guys where I think their stock kind of stayed the same. Like it wasn't great for him, wasn't bad for them, but they just kind of stayed the same after this first preseason game. So, of course, we'll start off with Jayden Daniels, the man of the hour. Jayden Daniels, Dan Quinn referenced the Top Gun movie, said that he the Buzz the Tower moment when he changed the play. Jayden Daniels just showing how much, just showing that he recognized the mismatch there on 3rd and 6, and he did have jitters on that first play. Like he overthrew Austin Ekeler on the screen pass, and then he made up for it with a 42-yard pass to Dami Brown. And Austin Ekeler said that he changed the play before the play happened, of course. So. I know some coaches don't like when players do that and whatnot, but I love that he has the authority and the autonomy to do that, and that he had the presence of mind and the recognition to recognize that mismatch that Dami Brown had there one-on-one there. So that was awesome to see from a young rookie quarterback there. I love to see that, and Dan Quinn was fine with it, of course, because they made the connection for the 42-yard pass on a 3rd and 6, on a 3rd and long play. Then also to keep the drive going, he did hit Terry for a screen pass. That was like a 3-yard pass, but I do like that, he recognized to have that quarterback keeper, and then he walked into the end zone. You just see, like, the pressure that he's going to put on the defense. He's going to make B-Rob better. He's going to make Austin Ekeler better because of the threat of his legs, that dual threat of quarterback ability, and Cliff Kingsbury is certainly going to maximize that. That's kind of a big reason why I don't really want him to play the next. He's not going to play in the 3rd game anyway, but I'd rather him not, just because just keep some stuff on the shelf. Like I know defenses know it's coming, like the read option or the pitch that Sam Hartman did, stuff like that, and the quarterback keepers. But I would just keep it on the shelf. I know it's only one game. I feel like we've seen enough. We know. I feel like I'm confident in what Jayden's going to do. If he plays one series next game, I'm fine with that too. I would just keep it at one series or the first quarter. But I just like the calmness and the control that he had over the offense, even though it's only one series. So he can't get too hyped up or get too crazy, but he just looked cool, calm, collected after he got the jitters out with Austin Ekeler. And then the no-huddle offense that they did, just the talent that Jayden has is going to be it's going to help Cliff just open up the playbook. Anthony Lynn, too, is going to be a part of that running game coordination. B-Rob looked good out there, too. Same thing with Austin Ekeler. And, you have to account for Jayden as a runner. So you're going to have to account for Jayden as a runner, B-Rob as a runner, Austin Ekeler. He's just going to make guys better. And just the touch and on that throw, just the pinpoint accuracy to Dami Brown. It just looked like he was back at LSU throwing a ball to Malik Neighbors down the field. That's just what it looked like. And it looked like Dami Brown was back at UNC, like looking like the guy that I thought Dami Brown was going to be. Once again, it's hard not to get too hyped over one series. But I love that throw that he made on a 3rd and 6 play. That was just awesome in the play call that Jayden Daniels did too. So he's the first standout for sure. Second guy to me is Dami Brown. Dami Brown was actually the highest rated PFF player for the preseason. For the Commanders, he had a 91.0 PFF grade, and it probably is because of that catch. And then not only that, he had a first down catch as well, and he didn't play in the second half, which was good. And I think he was the best receiver out there. Jahan Dotson, I'm not gonna say he struggled, and then Terry didn't really get a lot of targets. He only played one series as well, just like Jayden Daniels. But Dami looked good, man. Dami needed this, man. He needed this bad for his confidence. And I know we've seen him do this in training camp, OTAs, minicamp, stuff like that. We've seen him do this outside of the season for the most part, or the regular season for the most part. I just want to see him carry on and do this in regular games. Other than that Titans game with Carson Wentz, that's the only time we've really seen Dami do stuff like that. The Seahawks game with the catch and run for a touchdown from Sam Howell. Other than that, it's just been non-existent. A career high of 12 catches in his career is just not good at all. Like I feel like he's better than that. Coming out 3rd round pick out of UNC, I think he's better than that too. And then maybe Jayden is the guy to get that out of him. We thought Sam Howell would be the guy to get it out of him, but maybe Jayden's the guy to wake Dami Brown up and get the best out of him. So I think Dami had a heck of a day. I think he kind of cemented his spot on the roster. I just don't see them releasing him or cutting him. I thought before the season that he was on the bubble, but if he plays like this again against the Dolphins, he may not have a 42-yard catch, but if he just hangs on to the football, he's a shoo-in to make this roster, and he probably will not be playing that 3rd game against the who do we play? The Ravens, as we always do. Let me look at the preseason schedule too, because I think we actually play the Patriots instead of the Ravens, which is actually different this year. Yeah, we play the Patriots instead of the Ravens, which is different, man. That's really odd. I mean, kind of couldn't care less. But Dami Brown had a great day. He had how many catches? He had 2 catches. He had 2 catches for 55 yards. Longest catch was 42 yards. And then stock up was Michael Wiley, man. He had a heck of a day. The pitch, the read option that Cliff Kingsbury drew up. Sam Hartman had that pitch to Michael Wiley. Michael Wiley made a nice run to get us in the goal line, and then he punched it in and scored a touchdown. He just looked explosive. He popped. I think I would have him above Chris Rodriguez. He had 8 carries for 34 yards, 1 touchdown. His longest run was for 15 yards, which was that read option play. And then he had the nice touchdown run where he just went in pretty easily. I thought he looked pretty darn good. He also was good at pass pro. He did a good job of that. He had 1 catch for 5 yards as well. So I thought he had a day. I thought he stood out for sure. He's fighting to make the rosters, but really between him and Jeremy McNichols and Chris Rodriguez. Chris Rodriguez was a dud for me. Stock down for him. He probably, I'm not gonna say probably make the roster, but he still has a good chance to make it. But honestly, like, he wasn't drafted by this regime. He was a Ron Rivera, Eric Bieniemy draft pick. So if they do go Michael Wiley and Jeremy McNichols over Chris Rodriguez, I wouldn't be surprised. Chris Rodriguez did have that fumble against the Giants last year, which was disappointing, where that, it hurt. I mean, we had a lot of turnovers against the Giants, and that certainly didn't help our situation. And Chris Rodriguez did have a fumbling problem in Kentucky, but 6 carries for 0 yards. Like, he got no push, no explosiveness, no pop, no nothing yesterday. He basically had the same amount of yards as you and me out there. His longest run was for a 4-yard run, and then he had a negative run, so he ended up with 0 yards out there. So I would say stock down for Chris Rodriguez after that game. I think he's a talented player, but I would say stock down. Dami Brown, stock up. We already talked about him. Ben Sinnott, we already know the 44-yard catch. Stock up for him. Breaking tackles, looking like Chris Cooley out there. Jeff Driscoll, I would kind of say his stock up, man. Him and Sam Hartman, they both had solid performances, but I really like how Jeff Driscoll is a dual threat quarterback. He had a nice pass to Ben Sinnott. A lot of Jeff Driscoll's yards did come from that pass. 42 yards, or 44 of his 87 pass yards came from the Ben Sinnott pass, where Ben Sinnott did a lot of the yak after that. But I do love that design run from Jeff Driscoll. He had 3 carries for 23 yards and a 16-yard run, a design run for a first down. So I did like Jeff Driscoll. He did look like he had command of the offense. Stock up a little bit for me is Sam Hartman too, man. I like what Sam Hartman did out there. He had a couple nice drives that led to touchdowns. He used his legs for a 3rd and 9, ran for a first down. He had a 2nd and 15 pass to Luke McCaffrey. So there were some big plays where he really did move the chains. Moving on again, I said Ben Sinnott, Michael Wiley. Unlimited Zacchaeus returning that punt. That was a good punt return. He did have a nice catch, but it was called back. But he looked good as a punt returner. Now, I still have Jamison Crowder ahead of him, but I do think Unlimited Zacchaeus stock did go up. And he also, I want to say he had a kick return out there yesterday too. No, he didn't have a kick return, but he had a 19-yard punt return, which was tied for Dax Milne's longest punt return of his career, or it might have been longer than that. So that punt return looked good, and it was just flipping the field, getting us in good range to have good field position. So Unlimited Zacchaeus, man, he had good hands. He didn't have any catches, but the one catch that he did make, if it wasn't called back, it would have been a first down and more. So I did like that from him. He just looked explosive out there. He did look elusive out there too. So I did like that from Unlimited Zacchaeus. And then kind of stock up for me was KJ Henry. I did like that tackle for loss on 3rd and 1. Javonte Jean-Baptiste had a tackle for loss. He made a couple of nice stops out there too. And then Tyler Owens had that nice special teams tackle as well. But he did give up a big pass on a scramble where either number 14 or 15 ran to the outside and threw a pass. And that was on Tyler Owens. But I did like the tackle that he made. He made a couple of nice tackles and 2 out there as well. There was one time where a guy fumbled. Tyler Owens helped kind of force the fumble on that, and then the Jets picked it up, ran forward, and then he recovered and made a tackle. So I thought Tyler Owens popped and showed some speed out there too. All right, so let's get to more of the stock down guys that didn't help themselves at all. Riley Patterson is the obvious one. He missed a 39, 40-yard kick, shanked it, hit off, and doinked it off the goalpost. And this is the competition. Ramiz Ahmed made his kicks. He made his kick and he made the extra point. So right now, I mean, if they cut Riley Patterson after this week, I wouldn't be surprised, or sometime this week. Now, they probably won't because it's still an ongoing competition. Ramiz Ahmed might fool around and miss a kick against the Dolphins, and Riley Patterson might make all his kicks. So that's the thing about the competition. Now, either of these guys, both of these guys may not even end up being the week one starter. But stock down certainly for Riley Patterson. And the weather was good too. So it's not like it was windy out there or raining. It was a beautiful day outside in New York yesterday. No excuses for that. All right, Emmanuel Forbes. I'm not going to say stock down because he had some good moments. The pass breakup that he had, and somebody commented on my last video. They were like, okay, you say he had a bad game, but did you see the pass breakup and a nice tackle? I did see that, and I acknowledge that. I did like the pass breakup that he made. It was close to pass interference, but the reason why I'm only going to bring him up in the stock down category is because of the personnel he was playing against. It was number 14, the third string quarterback, and then the wide receiver who had the touchdown was a backup to the backups. So I mean, if you allow that, and that was a similar play to what we saw in the practice clips where Garrett Wilson caught the touchdown in the red zone too. So they probably were like, hey, we can get number 13 on this play. We can get on the same play that we had in practice. Let's attack him and go after him. And that's what they did with number 14. Andrew Peasley was the quarterback on the pass, and the receiver was Jason Brownlee, who got him. So, and he was in there in that second quarter. No, a couple guys were in there in the second quarter, but, to give up the touchdown against third string guys, it's just something to look at. And we saw last year what happened with A.J. Brown. We saw what happened with DJ Moore. So we're just monitoring the situation here. So I'm not going to say super stock down, but it's just something to keep an eye on that he did give up a touchdown to third string players. All right, another stock down to me. I'm not going to say stock down 100%, but Jamin Davis, he had some good plays where he did set the edge. He did, and he made a nice recovery tackle where he had a lot of effort. He did give up the big 24-yard run to the outside. Another person commented again and said, okay, other than the 24-yard run that he did give up, did you see the other plays where he did set the edge? And I did see that. Didn't see much pass rushing pressure from him. But the only thing like that I would say is just giving up that run to the outside is a reason why he is in this category. I'm not saying release him or anything. And you want to notice here that he did play all 20 snaps on the defensive line. He did not play as an edge defender. He did not play any of his snaps at linebacker at all. I thought they were going to try to play him a little bit of linebacker, but all his snaps were as an edge defender out there. Other PFF grades, Olamide Zaccheaus was a 90.2. Benson was an 87.2. Jayden Daniels was an 85.0. Left tackle Alex Taylor was an 82.0 as well. They did get the ball out of Jayden Daniels' hands pretty quickly, but I thought the offensive line as a whole did a pretty good job. And then also Jahan Dotson, he had a lot of snaps out there. I want to say he had like the most snaps on the team, if I'm not mistaken. So that's not a good look. So I'm not going to say stock down or anything like that, but he had 32 snaps, which is a good amount of snaps. So I'm not going to say stock down, but, it's kind of like, why is he still out there? Terry's not out there. So why is Jahan still out there? That's a question mark for me. But I think Jahan is fine. I wouldn't overreact. I saw a couple people overreacting to that and, the bobble catch that he had. You just want to see him cleanly bringing in. Last year, he had a couple concentration drops. So I'm not going to put him in the stock down category, but just monitoring and just taking a look at that situation. Stock down to me is James Pierre. He gave up that big play that led to a touchdown, so I had stock down for him right there. And then a lot of things I did like what Cliff Kingsbury did. I liked the read option with Sam Hartman. I liked the no huddle hurry up offense. We just didn't see any urgency really last year from Eric Bieniemy. I thought there were some times where they could have did some no huddle and then just kind of up tempo to speed things up, and I thought we were predictable. But even in the preseason game, I thought Cliff did a good job mixing up the run, and Anthony Lynn as the run game coordinator. I thought we did a good job with the run game with Jayden Daniels to start off, and then also with Sam Hartman as well. So I thought we did a couple good things there as well. So, and then Brandon Coleman, real quick, guys. The injury update for him, Dan Quinn said the rookie tackle, Brandon Coleman, has a shoulder/pec strain. He's day-to-day, week-to-week. So that's not great news, honestly. It's really not. Hopefully he is ready for week one. I'm not going to panic on that. But to say, week to week, who knows? We got to really see what happens with this Dolphins practice. Does he play against the Dolphins? Because if he doesn't play against the Dolphins, He probably will not play against the Patriots in that third string game, which is really a dressing rehearsal and guys who are really fighting to make the roster. He's right now he is basically the leader of the pack for the left tackle spot. But should they bring in another guy, another depth piece? But some of the depth pieces did a good job yesterday. Like Jayden Daniels, I thought he did a good job in space. I thought he did a good job blocking for Michael Wiley to get a touchdown, and also blocking on the read option for Michael Wiley as well. Jayden Daniels did a good job, so it was good to see some good things from Jayden Daniels. But yeah, I mean, the depth is not good. The depth's not good, and keep in mind the Jets did keep out some of their starters as well on defense. They did, so we can't sit up here and act like that didn't happen. So Brandon Coleman is a situation to monitor. Same thing with Andrew Wiley with the tightness thing. Like, do we need to bring in another guy for depth? I know we brought in Alex Taylor, but do we need to bring in a more experienced left tackle in here for depth? So maybe I'll make a video about that later. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. Is there anybody that I missed out on the stock up, stock down? I know Davion Davis, he had a solid punt return, so we'll see what happens with that. He had a 10-yard punt return. And then Jamison Crowder's the last guy I'll talk about too. I don't know why he wasn't involved much in the game as a punt returner. Like, what's going on with that? Because I still think he's the best punt returner on the roster. I really do. I don't think you just, get rid of the guy who had a touchdown last year, who we haven't seen a punt return touchdown here in DC for years. I just don't think that's wise, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens next game. I really want to see what they do with Jamison Crowder next game. Like, he got no targets, no nothing. I don't know. I barely saw him out there. And then Michael Davis, I'll say again, his stock didn't go anywhere. Didn't hear his name. Fedarian Mathis did make a play, so it was good to see that. And then Bo Bauer struggled a little bit out there. He did get beat on a play where he did look like David Mayo on a crossing route. And Mikey Sanders still looked good out there too. Frankie Louvu, of course, his stock is always going to go up because he's just a great player. And Benny Potato with the sack, I think his stock went up too because he's just an athletic guy that can get to the quarterback for sure. Dominique Hampton, didn't see much from him. Didn't see much from Chiggy as well. So that's about it. But like I said, we'll keep an eye on Jamison Crowder and see what happens with him. All right, you guys. Hell Commanders. Peace.